Now at 10, the release of a man connected to the double murder of two teen girls moves Oklahoma lawmakers to pass a bill addressing prison stays for criminals. Plus, teacher ed students get to explore options during a career fair event at Missouri Southern. And some students in Joplin get some potentially life-changing good news.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Oklahoma House passes a bill increasing mandated prison stays for some criminals. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. House Bill 2946, known as Laura and Ashley's Law, is now headed to the Senate. It's named for the two Northeast Oklahoma teens, Laura Bible and Ashley Freeman, who were kidnapped, raped, and killed in 1999. Their bodies have yet to be found. If passed, the bill would add accessory to murder in both the first and second degree to the list of crimes mandating offenders to serve 85% of their prison sentence before they're eligible for parole. The bill follows the recent release of Ronnie Busick. He was charged with accessory to felony murder in the girls' case and sentenced to 10 years in prison with 5 years probation. Because of good days earned while incarcerated, as well as time credited while in a county jail, Busick was released after just 3 years in prison. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a great Wednesday for us today. Temperatures fantastic. 74 for a high, near record highs. The record was 76. We started at 51. Average high is 52 degrees, so pretty close to that mark. Look at our temps now. We got 50s, northern counties, 60s in our southern counties. Joplin has actually risen over the past few hours, and then still near 70 once you get into our southern counties. A little bit breezy, southerly winds ahead of our next little wave that is going to rotate through tonight. So we're getting some clouds increasing, and over the next couple hours, we're going to watch thunderstorms start to develop and head toward us as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Some of those storms could be a little bit on the strong side and a little loud later on tonight. So we'll talk about that and what's to come here in just a bit.
See you soon. MSSU teacher ed students had the chance to hand out their resumes to local school districts this afternoon. More than 50 school districts attended the Education Career Fair and shared their opportunities with Missouri Southern students.
This is an opportunity for them to connect with schools all over the area and just compare and see where they might want to land.
And we have to show people, give them reasons to come to our school district. And we're the third largest school district in the state of Missouri by square miles. We have 428 square miles, so there's a lot of diversity in our district. So we probably have something to offer for pretty much any particular teacher that wants to come in.
Many school districts across the 4 states and nation are dealing with a teacher shortage. The Education Career Fair was an opportunity for students and alumni seeking teaching positions and graduate programs. 17 McCallie Catholic High School seniors were presented with scholarship letters, adding up to more than $20 million. Some students received offers for more than $1 million in scholarships coming from different universities that are part of the VU Scholarship Partnership. The scholarship offers open up new opportunities for the students.
I think it'll definitely make me look at more colleges, like open my variety and see what, everyone's willing to offer me.
Knowing that it was an incredible opportunity for our kids, we jumped on that, and we'll maintain this for years to come.
VU scholarships connected the Catholic school students with more than 30 colleges. In Owasso, Oklahoma, the death of a non-binary high school student following a fight has members of the community split. Some want more information on what happened, while others are concentrating on mourning the loss while the investigation unfolds. John Hayes has details. Apparently we're having some problems with that report. We'll see if we can have that for you a little bit later in this broadcast. We can tell you that police say they're going to spend the next 2 weeks interviewing school staff and students, and once that's done, they're going to hand the results over to the county's district attorney. A little bit later in sports, some Kansas high schools treat their wrestling teams to exuberant send-offs. John's going to have details of the history-making teams heading to the state championship. But first, a special teacher helps a special student find just the right musical instrument.
Crossing Casino.
Alabama's largest hospital is pausing in vitro fertilization treatments after the state Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos have the same rights as children. Wendy Gillette has the latest.
I'm angry, I'm sad, just a whole slew of things.
34-year-old Jasmine York is wondering what's next after her fertility doctor at the University of Alabama called to tell her the hospital is pausing all IVF treatments following a court decision.
I am scared, but I do have hope still that this can get turned around and things can be made right.
The all-Republican Alabama Supreme Court delivered the landmark ruling. It stems from a wrongful death lawsuit brought by patients whose frozen embryos were destroyed when they were accidentally dropped. The court ruled the embryos are people under the law and entitled to the same protections as children. In a statement to CBS News, the University of Alabama says it's saddened, but we must evaluate the potential that our patients and our physicians could be prosecuted criminally or face punitive damages for following the standard of care for IVF treatments. Fertility doctors predict many more patients will be affected.
It was shocking.
Reproductive endocrinologist Dr. Brett Davenport is concerned about the decision.
My mind is still wrapping around all of the implications of this.
Anti-abortion rights advocates say the ruling follows state law.
We can worry about the cost of a lot of things, but I think the more pressing issue will be a proper treatment and the relationship between those who believe in the sanctity of life at any stage of development and the need of medical science to address problems.
Alabama has one of the strictest abortion laws in the nation. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
CDC says nearly 100,000 babies were born in the U.S. in 2021 using IVF. That's 2% of all births. Mercy Hospital in Columbus, Kansas celebrated the opening of a new infusion suite today. Officials say the suite triples the number of patients who can be served at one time, while incorporating relaxing massage chairs in the treatment area.
They are huge community supporters and very passionate about the Columbus community and seeing great things happen here. So they reached out and they said they wanted to help bring something to our hospital, something that could really serve the patients and give back. And they wanted to see it happen, and they wanted to see it happen soon. So I said, let's sit down and talk.
The new center will offer infusions for multiple medical conditions, including rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, osteoporosis, multiple sclerosis, and more. Colton Sprinkle is a first-year music teacher at Columbian Elementary in Carthage. Now, recently, he made a decision to help one of his students and has provided her with the opportunity to create music with all other students. Third grader Belinda Velasquez has a congenital condition in her left hand, limiting the use of her fingers. Sprinkle was able to find a customizable recorder that would allow Belinda to mainly use her right hand. The recorder has all the same capabilities as a standard recorder and now allows Belinda to play all the same music as her peers.
Do you really?
I did some research because there's a few different solutions, different accommodations, and this was the one that was the most similar to the regular recorder. I wanted to make sure she had a way to participate that wasn't different than anybody else's.
In a statement released by Columbian Elementary School Principal Becky Chad, said Mr. Sprinkle's actions are a beautiful act of kindness and inclusivity. Pitt State celebrated Black History Month this evening with this gospel explosion. The event provided a history lesson on the rich tradition of gospel music, a combination of spirituals, blues, and the song sermons. Organizers hope the event spotlighted numerous rich contributions during Black History Month.
I think I want them to know that Black history is every day. It's not just the month of February, but every single day we are celebrating our culture, our rich heritage, and all of the contributions that people have made before us.
The event also will feature the newly formed Viking Dance and Color Guard from Parsons, created last fall to empower youth and provide scholarship and audition opportunities in the performing arts. A little bit later, a Baxter Springs standout makes the move to the next level. John's going to have details on the latest acquisition for the Coffeyville Red Ravens.
Plus, we're going to get some scattered thunderstorms in here tonight. We're going to talk about that coming up.
Drive well, and soon.
Well, definitely turned out to be a nice one for us today. Pretty nice outside, partly sunny skies, temperatures all the way up into the mid 70s during the afternoon. Looks good right now. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We do have some clouds, which are starting to increase across the region. We're watching for some thunderstorms, which are going to start to build back toward the west as we go through the next couple hours. Some of these storms could be a little bit stronger, so some thunder, some lightning, maybe some very small hail, but should mainly behave and stay under severe limits. But here's Wichita, Ponca City, Oklahoma City. You can see a little line trying to pop up. So these will continue to grow and then head into the four-state area as we go through the next few hours. All right, let me take you through time. Scattered thunderstorms working in. So here's midnight. Again, a few of these could be a little bit stronger as they work into Pittsburgh, Columbus, the metro, all the way down to Neosho and Anderson by 1 or 2 in the morning. Thunderstorms work into our eastern counties once we get 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then they're gone. And then by morning, we will see these guys well off toward the east. All right, temperatures cooler in our northern counties, only lower 50s. But look at this, 59 in Pittsburgh, 67 in Joplin, and then near 70 once you get into our southern counties. Outside right now, it's 67. Southerly winds at about 10 to 15. Some gusts have been higher than that. We've been getting some wind gusts, kind of 20, upwards to 25. And these are going to stay strong as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Winds gusting 20 to 25. Switching around now the north for us tomorrow. Northerly winds gusting 20 to 25. And then still staying a little breezy even as we go into Friday as well. All right, sunshine returns tomorrow afternoon. Mid 60s is where we're going to sit. 4 highs, still above, well above where we should be for this time of the year. Clear skies tomorrow night. We back down a little bit cooler, upper 30s, and then Friday looks pretty good. Partly sunny skies, lower 60s for afternoon highs. So even though we're going to cool down a bit, still looks great. 57 in the morning, 63 by noon. High temp tomorrow, right around 65 degrees. All this mess moves east for the weekend. We look pretty good as we get into the weekend. Great temperatures, and then we're going to start to track this bigger storm system, which is going to head out by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, giving us chances for rain, maybe a little bit of snow on the backside. So we'll keep our eyes on that. All right, for us tonight, scattered thunderstorms, and then 65 for us tomorrow, 63s Friday and Saturday, back into the 70s on Sunday and Monday.
Doesn't that sound nice?
Sounds great.
Got to get outside. Doug, thanks. We now have that report from Owasso, Oklahoma, into the investigation of the death of a non-binary student.
I just kind of stood back because no matter how I moved, I would have got hit.
Owasso high schooler Shayla Perez is describing the fight the school district says happened in a high school bathroom nearly 2 weeks ago.
I was actually in one of the stalls.
Perez says Nix Benedict was involved in that fight and that this
I'd get slammed into the paper towel dispenser twice, and first it came open and then it came off the hinge on one side.
Happened to them just a day before the school district and police released statements that Benedict died. Silence from police and the district until Tuesday, February 20th. 2 statements released. Owasso Public Schools clarifying in its statement that the district was quiet, quote, due to the ongoing investigation in an effort to not disrupt police and out of respect and for the confidentiality for all involved. That statement also laying out a timeline of events the day of the fight to clear up speculation and misinformation. It says the fight was broken up, all students involved were walking when they left the restroom, checked by a nurse, and while all of the injuries were determined to be non-life-threatening, a parent was advised to have their child seen by a doctor.
A few of their hair was messed up, but for the most part, no one really had concerning, super concerning marks or anything. There was a few bruises maybe.
Including the
From what I
student
could
that
see.
died?
Yes.
But how did Benedict die, and did the fight have anything to do with it?
All of the misinformation, and you hear like one thing and then you hear another.
There are two questions that have fueled waves of gossip making national headlines. Owasso police say both answers are pending autopsy and toxicology results.
A lot of accusations being made against the district, against the police department, against the media, our role in this. Can you speak to how harmful that might be at the end of the day when it comes to really getting answers here and solving this investigation?
Oh, I think it's very harmful.
Parent Anna Richardson weighing in on how much damage words can do.
It's been very negative, and it makes it harder for them to do their jobs.
She's organizing a vigil for Benedict this weekend in town to mourn. She hopes can get everyone back on the same page.
After authorities finish interviewing students, they're going to hand over the results to the district attorney. The Environmental Protection Agency is in Caney, Kansas, taking the next steps to deal with contaminated soil. Two EPA representatives are asking property owners in Caney to have access to residential properties for the removal and replacement of contaminated soil, specifically soil containing lead. The EPA changed the qualifications of safe lead levels in soil. This is a 3-year project, and residents can expect sampling to start next summer.
Just about every property was sampled in the past, so we have the field sheets. We know what sections of the yards are contaminated. So instead of waiting 3 years until remediation comes through to put in your garden, you could start now.
Representatives from the EPA will be at Caney City Library tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Public is welcome. Still ahead, a 4-state high school football standout commits to Coffeyville Community College, and several Southeast Kansas wrestlers leave school for the state championships. John Dale says those stories and more. It's up next.
During our President's Day. Phoenix.
Kansas High School Wrestling State Championships take place this weekend in Park City and Salina. Now, several of our local schools will be represented, and this morning they celebrate their state qualifiers. We begin the morning at Fort Scott. 13 Tiger wrestlers are state-bound, 7 from the boys team and 6 from the girls team. They get cheered on by their classmates, walking through the hallway before getting onto the bus and heading to Salina. Now, the Tigers make it clear they're not just content with making it to state, they're hoping for a big weekend.
My goal going into state this year is to come out with a state title. Going into state, I'm number 2 in 4A and number 2 all class. It puts a lot of pressure on me. It means I got to perform when the time is right. And the kid I'll see hopefully see in the state finals. I've wrestled this year, and that's the only loss I have this season.
I think we have a really good chance to do something special this weekend, especially on the girls' side. We've got some pretty good draws in our bracket, and we're going to try to bring home as many medalists as we can.
At Pittsburgh High School this afternoon, the wrestling team packs up as it hits the road for state. The students and supporters of the team line the halls to send off the 13 wrestlers heading to the Class 5A state championships in Park City. However, this year was a little special because it's the first time both the boys and girls teams get to compete together.
Huge, man. The girls, they used to have to wrestle Wednesday and Thursday before, people got off of work and stuff. So now everybody will be able to enjoy it and cheer for each other together and just be one big family, one big team, all working for the same goal. I want them to focus on the match in front of them. Don't worry about the brackets, don't worry about the rankings, worry about the match in front of them. The most important match is the match they're about to wrestle. Once we get through that match, then we'll worry about the next match. So just one match at a time and score points.
Over to Frontenac High School, the Raiders have an all-school assembly this afternoon, cheering on their 9 wrestlers heading to the state championships in Salina. 6 members of the Frontenac boys team are making the trip to state, and with the Frontenac girls program just in its 2nd year of existence, 3 female Raiders will represent the school at state for the first time.
I think it feels pretty cool just knowing that people 100 years from now are going to look back and be like, oh, those are the 3 girls, first ever girls who made it to state for wrestling.
It feels really cool, kind of feels like a little thing, but it's really not, it's a big thing.
The main feeling, I just felt relieved that I finally made it, really accomplished, yes.
Switching gears to football, the Coffeyville Red Ravens have already picked up a number of local standouts in this year's recruiting class. Early this week, they had another. Baxter Springs senior Peyton Gaines commits to Coffeyville. According to his personal Twitter page, Gaines will play wide receiver for the Red Ravens. Now, he was an All-State honorable mention from Sports in Kansas at quarterback for the Lions in 2023. Gaines joins Labette County QB Kendall Holtzman, Parsons running back Jamarian Washington, among other standouts from SEK to commit to Coffeyville in the past month. And wrapping things up with Major League Baseball, Eric Hosmer announces his retirement. Now, he was a big part of the Royals' run to a World Series championship back in 2015. Hosmer was with Kansas City from 2011 to 2017. He then bounced around San Diego, Boston, and Chicago afterwards. He holds the record for the most postseason RBI in Royals franchise history. That's a look at sports. Back with more news after this.
Of Crawford County.
If you haven't heard this already, you should. You can know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app anytime, anywhere, right there on your phone. You can get severe weather updates sent to you, and it doesn't cost a dime. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. KOAM Skywatch weather app. Why not download it right now? Some of us might hear a bit of thunder before morning.
Yeah, scattered thunderstorms picking up outside, and these are going to work through during the overnight hours tonight. Most of these should behave, but we could get a few stronger storms. Partly sunny skies tomorrow, a few random sprinkles, high temp 65.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.
Brought to you